Who's closer to being a playoff team, the Wizards with AJ DeBansa or the Jazz with Darren
On
Peterson?
Utah.
I was gonna go with Washington just because I think the East won't be as difficult regular season.
Listen, I think the East is underrated as hell. You got Indiana
I'm not
coming
wrong.
back. Boston's going to be a playoff team. New York, Detroit, Cleveland, Toronto, Charlotte.
I
Like
just think that 7 to 10 is easier to crack.
it is, but then you got Philly, you got Miami now. Like this East, it's no walk in the park anymore. Like there's a lot of good teams in the East. Like outside of and even Brooklyn, like outside of Brooklyn, maybe I feel like every team can really compete. And I think that's Washington. Like as for Utah, the West, you're probably relying on a lot of the older teams to really fall off, like Golden State, like the Clippers and stuff like that. But I think for me, I think Washington, just because they have more boom players. And I say that to say like AD, Trae Young, we've seen those guys at the highest levels. As for Jaren Jackson, Laurie, we've seen it, but they're not at the same level as Trae Young if all things go right. So I think for me, it's Washington. I think just right now with the way Washington has AJ, Trae Young is the point guard. You know, you have Keyshawn George. They have a lot of young talent. Where however they fit is however they fit. But I think for me, it's going to be Washington.
Long term, I like Washington's young core more, but in the short term, I like what Utah's building a lot more. And a big reason why is the coaching. I don't know what they saw in Brian Keefe, the Wizards, this is, and I said this in a while ago before, right after they won the lottery, to keep him. But I mean, it is a little bit head scratching if you're trying to win now and you have these two timelines and you have an unproven coach, and extending Trae Young for the contract they gave him sends mixed signals, because I don't know how you're going to maximize Trae Young and simultaneously maximize AJ DeBansa. And you have this entire young core, then you forget you have Anthony Davis in the picture. On paper, Washington is clearly the better team. I mean, it's not really close. If you have a healthy Anthony Davis and a healthy Trae Young, I don't expect Anthony Davis to play more than 60 games because of what we've seen the last 2 years. And at the same time with Trae Young, we've seen with the rule changes, he's not the same level of scorer. Plus, he is a really specific player to build around. And this year, Orlando was a 500 ball club with a very decent supporting cast next to him. And I felt like they had built a more well-orchestrated team that fit Trae Young's strengths and weaknesses compared to Washington, where you kind of slapped a bunch of stuff together and it's a ton of talent. I don't know how any of it gels, especially when you have a coach who has 20. His record, if you're to pull it up, is one of the worst things in NBA history. And this is someone that you're trusting now to put it all together. I don't see that happening. But with Will Hardy in Utah, every single year they have routinely been competitive when they've actually had talent on the floor, and they've always kind of pulled players out of the lineup due to injuries or just simply shutting down the tank. This year, I feel like it's going to be different with the backcourt they've built, and then plus, assuming Jaren Jackson and Walker Kessler are on the floor, because they missed most of last season, but before then, you look at them as guys that are going to be more available than, say, AD. And to me, it's clear that you're going to have a very strong front court defensively. So I feel like the floor is a little bit higher with Utah.
The Jazz got better players right now.
I was going to say the Wizards had better players right now. If you're telling
Nobody
me
on the Jazz
Trae Young
better than AD.
and AD is going to be healthy, that is.
Yeah.
But the Jazz have their own injury concerns with Jaren Jackson, with Walker Kessler,
Fake
who
injury.
missed all season.
I don't see Kessler's injury history. It's just the torn labrum, but with
True.
Jaren's valid.
Yeah,
He
Jaren-
restricted too.
Yeah, but
Like,
it seems like he's going to come back at a minimum.
Who's
sign
better,
trade.
Sarr or Kessler? I think
Kessler.
it's what? I think it's Sarr.
I would probably go with Sarr, but it's
AD
close.
Jaren. It's AD. You know, Laurie, Keyshawn, you probably go Laurie. Keontae George, now AJ DeBansa.
Keontae or Trae?
Trae.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd compare DP and AJ.
AJ.
Do you say that simply? Is it Trae just better than Keontae?
I think you have
No,
to.
I think it's very close. They're in the same tier.
Yeah,
guards.
but I think you lean Trae.
I think that's more
'cause
just Trae
Keontae's up
falling
for the
off
year.
than anything.
I just look at Utah. I feel like the core fits better in my opinion.
Okay.
Darren Peterson, Keontae George, Laurie, Jaren Jackson, Walker Kessler. They have size. They have a good defensive front court. And then you have the scorers in the back court. We'll see if we see more of high school point guard Darren versus Kansas didn't get much assists Darren in college. Because it was two different shifts. In high school, he was a playmaker. But then in college, I mean, the passing numbers are putrid. So he said he wants to play point guard. In Utah, it's definitely going to be a little bit of a clunky fit with him and Keontae George at first. I'm wondering how they're going to figure that out. But I think both teams are in excellent positions. The Western Conference doesn't seem as difficult as it has looked in years past. And the East is very deep with a lot of good teams.
Yeah. I want to say that Hans Steinbach to Charlotte at 14 is probably one of the best draft picks
Great
in
pick,
as
yeah.
well, especially for their need. And then you're getting a player who offensively can just supercharge their lineup.
Yeah.
I love what a lot of these teams have done in the second half, and that's one of
Dirk!
the picks.
His Steinbach's dad played with Dirk.
It's always crazy pulling stuff like that up.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
like Stefan Castle's dad playing college basketball at Wake Forest with Tim
Tim
Duncan.
Duncan.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. Crazy shit happens for real.
The Grizzlies
world.
weren't brought up in this equation because they don't have any aspirations of being competitive in the
They
short
might
term.
with the new rules.